Baseball has its summers of glory, but it's in the winter that giants are made. When the sun sets on the season and the stadiums fall silent, that's when the real game begins. A game with no bats, no gloves, but full of decisions that change the fate of entire franchises. Milwaukee, Los Angeles, two cities separated by miles and stories, but united by the same instinct to dare. The Brewers, small only on the map, have long proven that courage and planning can rival billion-dollar budgets. They were the ones who, with steady hands and cold hearts, let go of Corbin Burns and won. Then they traded Devin Williams and won again. Now, the clock strikes a new winter, and this time, the name is Freddy Peralta, the last of a lineage of aces who define the present, but may need to leave to secure the future. On the other side, the Dodgers, the eternal colossus of California, a modern empire where every offseason feels like a new season of Game of Thrones. A throne built on talent, money, and limitless ambition. And yes, they're back in the World Series. Again. But the question echoes through Los Angeles. How much does it cost to stay on top? Because when a team already looks perfect, the temptation is to tinker. And that's where greatness and madness meet. While Milwaukee debates whether to cut another tie with its past, the Dodgers look to the future and see a golden opportunity. But what begins as a possible trade could become something even bigger, a total reshaping of the MLB landscape. So get ready, because what's coming isn't just rumor, it's chess between titans, a board where every piece carries weight, history, and consequence. Before we dive in, drop a like, subscribe, and comment what you think, because this space belongs to us. And if you think you've seen it all this offseason, hold on, because what's coming next changes everything. News 1. The cold of Wisconsin has a strange way of telling stories. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And when winter arrives in Milwaukee, baseball doesn't die. It transforms into discussion. It's in the calm of the months, without games, that the Brewers do what they do best: shock the world. That's how it was with Corbin Burns. That's how it was with Devin Williams. And now, all eyes turn to Freddy Peralta, the last warrior on the mound, the one who carries in his arm the perfect blend of courage and chaos. Peralta is in the final year of his contract. The market's clock begins to tick, and Milwaukee once again faces its trademark dilemma: keep the talent and risk losing him for nothing, or trade him and secure a future return. But this time, the rumor feels different. This time, the phone is ringing from Los Angeles. Yes, the Dodgers, the very team that just eliminated Milwaukee from the NLCS. The giant that isn't content with winning. It wants to dominate. Christopher Klein of Fansided lit the spark. The Dodgers are reportedly interested in Freddy Peralta, and the idea, as improbable as it sounds, makes a dangerous kind of sense. The Californian empire seems to be living a golden age. Shohei Ohtani makes the impossible look routine. Freddie Freeman remains a model of consistency. Mookie Betts turns every at-bat into a show. But there's one thing success can't hide. Baseball is a cruel game for pitchers. Injuries don't ask, they just arrive. And no matter how deep the Dodgers' rotation looks, health is never a guarantee. Roki Sasaki, the Japanese phenomenon, has been used cautiously. Kershaw is aged. Glasnow is pure talent, but also a living reminder that stability is never eternal. And it's exactly in this context that Freddy Peralta appears as the missing piece. Because Peralta isn't just talent, he's intensity. He's the kind of pitcher who steps on the mound and changes the stadium's energy. Explosive fastball, wicked curve, relentless mindset. A guy who, when he's hot, looks like he's pitching on another level. And the most intriguing part? He fits the Dodgers' favorite mold. Short contract control, perfect age, and room to grow within their system. But there's a cruel irony in this story. Milwaukee probably hates the idea of sending one of their own to the team that just eliminated them. It's like shaking hands with the one who pushed you off a cliff. Yet modern baseball is pragmatic, cold, calculated. The Brewers can't afford to act on emotion. They must think in terms of value. And the Dodgers, of all teams, may be the only ones capable of paying the price. The rumor gains traction. Reports mention packages involving 3, maybe 4 elite prospects. Names the Dodgers hold dear. But that could be sacrificed in the name of another World Series run. And the most curious part? Los Angeles doesn't even need Freddy Peralta. This would be a luxury move, not a necessity. But that's exactly the kind of decision that separates the great from the legendary. Imagine the scene. Roki Sasaki closing. Freddy Peralta joining the rotation with Glasnow, Bobby Miller, and Ohtani alternating between bat and mound. It would be, without exaggeration, the best rotation in baseball. A quartet that could turn the regular season into a formality and make October feel inevitable. But in Milwaukee, the story is different. There, every trade hurts. Because Brewers fans have learned that growing as a franchise without the billions of a massive market means giving up the ones you love. They lost Burns. They lost Williams. Now, they might lose Peralta, but each departure leaves scars. Freddy isn't just a name. He's a symbol, a player who grew within the system, who embodied resilience. Seeing him leave would once again remind fans that the Brewers don't play the same financial game as the Dodgers. They play chess on an uneven board, but always find a way to stay standing. And that's why this potential trade carries such weight. It's not just about stats. It's about identity. What does Milwaukee want to be over the next 5 years? A team trying to stretch its cycle, clinging to the last golden days? Or a franchise willing to accept the natural rhythm of eras and bet on the future? Even if it hurts? Baseball is cruel, but fair. And for the Brewers, fairness comes in prospects. Maybe 3 young talents who, with luck, will bloom like Burns once did. Maybe one of them never will. But that's how you play when you don't have Los Angeles' budget. Meanwhile, the Dodgers remain the team that redefines power. They don't need to. They want to, because the top is a lonely place. And the only way to stay there is to keep stacking stars. And deep down, there's something symbolic in all this. If Freddy Peralta truly goes to Los Angeles, he won't just be changing teams. He'll be changing worlds. From Milwaukee's cold silence to California's blinding lights. From us against them to we are the Empire. But does the Empire really need him? Or is this just another move to make sure no one else does? October baseball is over, but the winter game is just beginning. And once again, Milwaukee stands at the center of the storm. They know what they're about to do. And they know that once they pull the trigger, there's no going back. Because sometimes to survive, you have to sacrifice the last hero. And if Freddy Peralta truly wears Dodger blue, this may be the final chapter of the Brewers who dared. But it could also be the beginning of something even greater. News 2, Los Angeles. The city that lives on light, but feeds on narrative. Every winter, it invents a new story to tell. And this time, there's one making the oldest hearts among Dodgers fans beat faster. The rumor that Cody Bellinger might be coming home. Just a mention of that name still echoes through Dodger Stadium. Bellinger wasn't just a player. He was a phenomenon. The kid with the easy smile and devastating swing who, in 2019, became the National League MVP. That year, it felt like the sky itself was Dodger blue, and Bellinger was to face an era that seemed destined to last forever. But baseball, cruel and unpredictable as always, has a way of turning fairy tales into dramas. After 2019 came the fall. A string of years where nothing seemed to work. Injuries, mechanical tweaks, doubt. The same swing that terrified pitchers now looked stiff. The electric, agile, smiling player got lost in his own shadow. Over 3 seasons, his batting average plummeted to .203, a cold number that, for many, sounded like the end. And then came the hardest decision of all. The Dodgers didn't want him anymore. Cody Bellinger, the 2020 World Series hero, the symbol of a new generation, was non-tendered. Released. The franchise that had watched him shine decided that his light was no longer worth the cost. But baseball loves comebacks. And Cody, like every great character, didn't stay down for long. He went to Chicago, then to New York. And there, under the pressure of the Bronx, he rediscovered something that had been missing. Himself. The swing came back. The confidence came back. The joy of playing returned. Over the past 3 seasons, Bellinger has posted a 125 OPS plus, amassed more than 12 WAR, and once again become the player who makes crowds rise to their feet. He reinvented himself, no longer the prodigy, but the resilient veteran, the man who fell, bled, and rose again. And now, as the offseason doors open and the rumor mill starts spinning, baseball smiles again with poetic irony. The Dodgers want Bellinger back. It's almost cinematic. The team that let him go now wants him again. Not out of nostalgia, but out of strategy. Dave Roberts knows what's at stake. The Dodgers have a rotation that can dominate any lineup, but the outfield still needs reinforcement. Michael Conforto did his job, but the presence of an explosive left-handed hitter, someone who can play center field, the corners, and even first base, would be a luxury that borders on inevitability. And Bellinger fits perfectly into that puzzle. According to Bleacher Report, his name is at the top of the priority list. And according to ESPN, he's going to exercise his opt-out clause and become a free agent. At 30 years old, with a strong season behind him and a hot market ahead, he's exactly the kind of player the Dodgers love to chase. Experienced, athletic, and versatile. But Bellinger's return isn't just a technical matter. It's a matter of soul. Imagine the scene. Opening day at Dodger Stadium. A packed crowd. Music echoing. And when the big screen shows a lineup between Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani, appears the name Cody Bellinger. Applause. Shouts. Flashbacks of 2019. A cycle closing. But behind the romance, there's calculation. The Dodgers know Bellinger could cost a fortune, maybe 150, 180 million on a long-term deal. And still, they can pay it. Not because they need to, but because they can. And because the bond between him and the fans is something money alone can't buy. Curiously, Bellinger has changed as a player. He's no longer the reckless slugger who lived on raw power. Now he's more selective, more cerebral. The swing is tighter, the contact cleaner, the mentality more mature. The man returning to Los Angeles isn't the same kid who left. And that might be exactly what makes this story so powerful. The Dodgers, under Andrew Friedman, have always been cold in their decisions. They know how to say goodbye. But maybe, for the first time in a long while, they want to say welcome back. Because within a roster full of superstars, what they lack is a human symbol. Ohtani is perfection. Freeman is consistency. Betts is brilliance. But Bellinger is emotion. He's the face of the fan. The guy who fails, falls, but returns. And the fan understands that better than anyone. Of course, his return isn't guaranteed. The market will be wild. The Yankees might want to keep him. The Mets, Red Sox, or even Mariners could join the race. But none of them have what Los Angeles has. Shared history. In the end, Cody Bellinger's fate may depend on something beyond numbers. It may depend on how he feels when he looks at the Dodger Stadium grass and remembers everything he lived there. It may depend on how the Dodgers see past and future coexisting in the same uniform. And if this reunion really happens, it won't just be a market move. It will be an act of redemption. The return of the prodigal son, the hero who left and came back stronger. A reminder that baseball, above all, is a story told in cycles. The boy who was once discarded could become the final piece of a new championship. And the Dodgers, who mastered domination through money, might rediscover the value of emotion. Bellinger back in blue, the stadium on its feet, past and future shaking hands under California lights. And if it all really happens, baseball will show us once again that no story ends until the final pitch is thrown. There's something poetic about the baseball that's played off the field. It's a sport of sweat and calculation, emotion and spreadsheets, love and coldness. And if summer is made of hits, winter is made of decisions. This winter, two worlds collide. On one side, Milwaukee, cold, quiet, strategic. A team that has learned to live without luxury, but with courage. That looks at Freddy Peralta and sees more than a pitcher. It sees a story that might need to end so that others can begin. The Brewers are living proof that greatness can exist without money. That baseball can still be built on intelligence and sacrifice. And if they decide to part with Peralta, it won't be out of fear, but out of vision. Because sometimes the future demands pain. On the other side, Los Angeles. Sun, fame, empire. A team that has learned to turn every loss into fuel. The Dodgers don't need Freddy Peralta. They want him. They don't need Cody Bellinger. But maybe emotionally, they need him more than ever. It's ironic. The same team that built a dynasty on data and billion-dollar contracts could, this winter, become human again. Bringing Bellinger back would be more than a move. It would be a statement. A return to roots, to the bond between field and stands, between superstar and fan. At the same time, pursuing Peralta would reaffirm their power. A reminder that the Dodgers don't just want to win. They want to erase the doubt that anyone else can. At its core, that's the real contrast of modern baseball. While Milwaukee sells hope to buy the future, Los Angeles buys power to sustain the present. But both in their own ways are fighting for the same thing, to survive the passage of time. Freddy Peralta might wear Dodger blue and white and become the newest name in a legendary rotation. Cody Bellinger might return home and bring back the sound the stands have been missing, that roar of he's back. And if that happens, the destiny of MLB might change. Because when talent and emotion meet, history rewrites itself. But there's one thing no trade, contract, or rumor can buy. What baseball does to people. The Milwaukee fan will wake up and still love that M on the cap, even if Peralta leaves. The Dodgers fan will fill the stadium not just to see stars, but to relive memories. Because in the end, what sustains it all is feeling. And if there's one eternal truth in this game, it's this. Baseball is made of hearts that never learn to give up. They suffer, rage, criticize, but they come back. They always come back. So, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment what you'd do if you were in charge. Would you trade Peralta? Bring Bellinger back? What's worth more, emotion or strategy? Think about it. Because winter is just beginning. And when the snow melts and the diamond lights up again, the decisions made now will echo through the entire season. Because the logo still stands for pride. Because on the ice, on the field, or in the Bronx, the story never dies. And because baseball, in the end, isn't about who wins, it's about who never stops believing.